Good morning, everybody. Good morning, my yearlings. How are you this evening, this afternoon, this morning? Yes, we are here. And it's official. You guys are yearlings. Um, we will use gnomes now and then, but I think yearlings since yearlings one, we'll be using that. Also, I want to say that I'm very happy that for the second day in a row, it looks like YouTube is actually working. Not sure what's going on differently, but it's 2 days in a row, and we got it. So, yay. Let's see what we got. So I was going through all the chats and stuff, and did not see a lot of questions. So I don't have any questions to answer today, but I have a thing we're going to go through that hopefully will answer any questions that you guys might be thinking but afraid to ask and things like that. So I know we got a little bit dark yesterday, but that's okay. I'm not going to run and hide from my childhood or anything like that. I'm very open about that kind of stuff. So I know that some people are, it kind of surprised them, but that's okay. We are born and raised the way we are, and that's the way it goes. Question of the day. How's your day? My day is relatively adequate. How about that? I got up, I did my treadmill work, I got on my shaker, I had some, I made my morning shake, which has kefir and a bunch of other stuff in it. And then I had my morning coffee and sat in the living room for a while and read some things, and then had to come in here and install PowerPoint on my streaming system, which I'm just like, oh my God, kill me. But it's probably going to work out great because I also have Excel on there now and all that other stuff because I've been going to my other computer to do all that kind of work. And I want to keep all the streaming stuff in one place so that if I ever need to find something, I can. Yes, PowerPoint. We will be using PowerPoint today. I have made it very clear in the past, I absolutely hate PowerPoint. And that's true. But I've done 2 PowerPoint presentations in my lifetime. And I modified one to do today here. I was working on it this weekend. I didn't get it finished for yesterday. And it's actually kind of good because it's good that we have the yearlings thing worked out already. Also had some technical issues. Power went off here a couple times this morning. So luckily I have power backups on everything that is show related, including my network. So hopefully that won't be a problem. If anything, we'll lose lights. And if we lose lights, then this room becomes absolutely, and I become absolutely hideous under bad lighting. So, dang, I missed it. Well, you can go back, and if you missed the dark stream, then you can go back and watch it. It's up on YouTube. I am still uploading everything on YouTube, and it looks like Twitch still has everything kind of saved. A couple of the don't worry, we're going to get to the t-shirt. Yes. In fact, let's just do that now. Let's get that. T-shirt of the day is I retired. There's a nap for that. And I actually left the stain on there because I could have taken the stain off, but it kind of fits with the shirt. That is today's shirt. I retired. There's a nap for that. I saw this shirt and it made me laugh, so I had to get it. Let's see. And just, retirement sucks. Don't do it. You really need, or I really need a reason to get up in the morning. If not, I will stay in bed forever. So it's not a thing. Written right. Because it says, good thing is written right because one mistake. Okay. There is a nap for that. Okay. I'm not sure what you mean by t-shirt is awesome. Good thing is written right because one mistake. Not sure what that means. Sorry, guys. It's a nap stain. Yeah, it's kind of probably a drool stain more than anything else. But yeah. Yeah, the stain brings it all together. Well, because I can do the thing with it. Like, so if I go back to just me, we can do this. We can go. Which is very South Parkian. Okay, now let's move on to our movie of the day. Our movie of the day will be Moon. An astronaut, Sam Bell, has a quintessential personal encounter towards the end of his 3-year stint on the moon, where he, working along his computer Gertie, sends back to Earth parcels of a resource that has helped diminish our planet's power problems. Moon, 2009. Now, the interesting thing about this movie is it's also directed by the same person that directed the Warcraft movie. Duncan is he's a really cool dude. I met him a couple times. He, like I said, last time he and I met was when they were doing the premiere at Blizzard for Warcraft, and he was talking about how he and his dad used to play Lost Vikings. And I thought that was kind of cool. Of course, he never introduced me to his dad, but that would have been fun. His name is Duncan Jones. His dad's name is Davy Hayward Jones, but most people know him as David Bowie. So I really wanted to meet his dad. Oh well. But he directed the movie. He did a great job on the movie. Like I said, me just as a editor of Warcraft stuff forever, really want to go back and edit it. But this movie, Moon, is really impressive. Very impressive movie. And Sam Rockwell does a really, really good job in it. It is depressing, but it's good. Sometimes you need sad things to let you see the world through different eyes. 3 years ago, for the next 2 years, he worked harder than he ever did. Yeah, because your retirement sucks. It's just not something anybody should do. Honestly. Yeah, Sam is great and everything. Yeah, Sam Rockwell. He was really good in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy too. I thought that was a funny bit for him. But that was good. Oh, someone's pinging in over here. Let's see. Yes, he was the president of the galaxy in that movie. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, let's see where are we at now. Come back to me here for a second. Let me check if anything's come up. Like I said, we are yearlings now. Tenor is struggling at the moment. Oh, well, apparently they were saying that Tenor is having problems, so some of your gift links probably would not be happy. Did you play the game Wacky Wheels? No, I don't know what the game Wacky Wheels is. I'll have to look it up. I did not get a chance to listen to the band either for last night because I was trying to finish this thing up and trying to get some technology to work, which I was not able to get it to work. So we'll be playing Rock and Roll Racing today on the emulator because I'm having trouble getting the other thing to work. But we will get there. It is 90s racing game. Nope. Most of the 90s racing games that I played was Rock and Roll Racing. Yeah, that's the one. So I didn't play a whole lot of other racing games at the time because, in all honesty, we were too busy working. That sounds cool. I'll check. Available on Steam, actually. Okay, I'll look for it. I do need to get, for some reason, I think it's because I haven't used it in a while. I think my Steam account has been put in mothballs or something. So I have to kind of go in there and dig it up and see what's going on. Because I wanted to play Borderlands 2 the other day. Because I want to replay the Tiny Tina DLC, which I thought was probably one of the best DLCs ever. And that character's just good anyway. It's, I really liked it. I have to admit, I'm just really surprised that YouTube is working again today. So now we have three streams on YouTube out of 12 streams. Tiny Tina game is, yes, it is, because she's playing D&D, if I remember correctly. in Borderlands. But just that character overall is just kapow. It was really really good character. Hello, Achilles. Welcome. Good morning. Please don't call me sir. Just say good morning. Good morning. Oh, okay. I like turtles. Congratulations. Turtles are fun. There's some really good videos of turtles on little skateboards that I thought was very funny. But I'm easily amused. So, okay, let's get to this thing that I've put together. Let me see if I have it working. Look, as a guy who grew up without a dad, and from what I've heard from Thor, you are who I'm trying to emulate with my kids. I'm so sorry that I'm an emulation. Now, I think the thing is with kids is the best thing to do is just be honest with them. My kids knew that if I didn't know something, I just said, you know what, I don't know. We did do a lot together. We did go through some tough times together here and there. But it's just be honest with them. I mean, all of my everything. I lowered the age limit of how I said it, but I always made sure that they understood what was going on, and I put it in ways that hopefully that they could understand a little bit better. Since I missed yesterday's stream, did the SNES arrive on Friday? No, it did not. It arrived yesterday, and I'm having some technical issues getting it to work. So I'll be working on that later today. Once it went through all the checks and clearances stuff, I didn't get it till late yesterday. So I have all the pots. I tried to get it working this morning before the show. I couldn't get it up and working. So we will be using the emulator today again for Rock and Roll Racing. And then hopefully we'll be able to get back to Lost Vikings tomorrow, and we'll see how it goes. I would never dare call you sir. I only referred to you as all. No, it was someone else. It wasn't you. Sorry. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, it was. Oh, you're talking to someone else. My mistake. Sorry. Contrasted in your own parent. See, contrasted to my own parents. If they were wrong, then I need to ignore it and be quiet. Yeah. I was raised similarly, as yesterday's show said. You ought to remain silent and out of sight. If you are in sight, then the beatings will now commence. The biggest thing with kids is to remember that they are humans. Well, some are. Yeah, I think that you have to remember that they're unformed humans, and your job is to form them. And if you form them poorly, then the whole world diminishes. How about that? We shall diminish. I slept really badly, but streams helps. Okay. Yeah, Troy, I saw that. The fact that you would watch both of us at the same time, that tells us more about you. And technically, yes, I guess you could be called a hall monitor. But it did make me laugh. But I feel sorry for you that you're watching both of us. I think we're a tad different, but the same, if that makes any sense. Why is stream frozen? Is the stream frozen? Doesn't look frozen. Which one is frozen? Okay. Why is stream frozen? Refreshed. So Troy, are you saying it is frozen or it isn't? Okay, there's a little couch. Yes, they are. Was there ever a cinematic of Machinima that you wanted to make, planned to make, and never got made? Yeah, there's a whole room full of them. I can't name any one specific because there were a lot that we did or we wanted to do that powers that be just like, no, you can't do that. And there are some that we did just for fun, in-office fun, that never saw the light of day. But anytime we did any of those, because like some of them were pretty damn funny, I would send them to Paul Sams and say, "Look what we released this morning," even though we didn't, and he would lose his mind. So that was always fun. It was always fun to play. Okay, it's working now. Okay, stream works fine. All right. Yeah, I'm 2.5 weeks into this, and I still have this damn cold. So I would suggest you never, ever, ever go on a Disney cruise, which we did about 3 weeks ago, because I have not been able to stop processing snot since that trip. Just fine for me. Okay. Hey, your joy, how's it going? It's going well. In fact, that's what I was just saying. Still have this snot factory going, so we will get through that. Twitch is having problems today. Oh, okay. In Thor's stream, a lot of people get website errors. 2000. Okay, well, hopefully we won't go down. I'm watching on the side screen here. I have both the YouTube one up and the YouTube one just says it's live. It's not actually showing it live for me because I didn't click on it because I want to save some of the bandwidth. But I think my bandwidth is pretty good. What is my bandwidth? Let's find out. Let's do a speed test. Speed test. Where are you at? Okay. This is the one. We want speed test. Dun. And we say go, and survey says, first the ping. Our upload is 940. That's pretty good. Excuse me, our download is 940. And our upload is wait for it, is 837. So yeah, we should be able to actually, I could probably turn the YouTube one on. But yeah, we'll keep the bandwidth open. So we're 940, 837. So that's pretty good. I know Thor gets like 2,000 up and down. I'm like, geez, dude. Yeah. We've got that one. Twitch status. AP server down. Not sure if it is related. Okay. Oh, okay. It probably means that anything that you've written that has code that uses the AP server on your stream is probably going to fail. Yeah. Let's see. We got current. Okay, so here's what we got going. Is we have 7 minutes till the next ad break. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if there's any other questions, and then I'm going to do the little presentation thing I put together after the next ad break. Oh, look, I'm now calling it ad breaks. You know, what do they say online? So while I'm doing that, hit like and subscribe. God, that felt really weird. Do what you're going to do. Watching the sun today. Hope you have a good day. Stream Joy Ray. Okay, cool. Yeah, I watch a stream now and then. I don't always go on, but I do watch it now and then, and I do show. I also need to do, let me look at this up here. I don't know how old these are. It says monthly top givers, resets in 11 days. Okay. Blue Superman 4 has 25 gives. Oh, I think we went through all these. Okay, we haven't had any new ones. Okay, good. Just trying to grew up on the games you worked on. Lost Vikings trilogy is still my favorite series of games, and go back and play still to this day. Awesome. You were apparently the crafter of the best portions of my childhood. Well, me and other people. I did not do it alone, and no game is ever made alone. There's a whole mountain of people that made them. Lost Vikings in particular, I think that there were 10 of us in the company when we were doing Lost Vikings, and not everybody was working on Lost Vikings. Same with Rock and Roll. I think when we did WoW, or sorry, the original Warcraft, there was 24 of us, something like that. But yeah, it was, every game was a team effort. It was not just like, oh, I made this. It doesn't work that way. It was more of a, I helped. How many Blizzard years do you get the ring? The ring is 15 years. Got it right here. Got this ring in, let's see. 15 would have been 2016. Yeah. So, and I've worn it ever since. I think I'm the only one that actually ever wears it every single day since I got it. But it's also a smaller one, because the one that they were going to give me was like a big, like Super Bowl ring size ring. And I'm like, I don't wear jewelry at all. I would never wear that. So they had so I have a littler one, not the girls one, but a smaller one, because the girls one has a more of a triangular shape. No, I have not learned how to raid in Twitch. I was looking at it last night because everybody wanted me to raid over to Thor after the thing. So no, I do not know yet. I will learn, and I will do that. Hopefully we can start doing that tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. 4 minutes. I thought up another question you can certainly answer. Working at Blizzard so long, sometimes I'm too tired for chores. How do you know if you too exhausted to do something or lazy? You don't. The thing is the way I did it was this, is the things that I basically didn't like doing, I would make shortcuts for. Like as far as like cleaning the house and stuff like that, I had someone come in and clean the house every 2 weeks. Simply because it gets out of hand for me, and I'm just like, okay, I've just wandered through the house. But like regular things like dishes and stuff like that, I do. You just do those. It's the price of breathing, But yeah, there's sometimes you can be lazy. I mean, I've been kind of sitting around thinking about stuff for like 6 months before I started doing this, and I'm just like, okay, I need something. I need something to do. But if you ever want to find the most efficient way to do something, find a lazy person, and they probably figured out an efficient way to do it so that it doesn't take up a lot of your time. How do you know whether to push yourself or be kind to yourself? It's a in the moment thing. If you decide in the moment whether you need to push yourself, if it's something really important to you, or if it's something that you can just kind of, oh, okay, cool. There are days when you get up in the morning, you just go, you know what? I just want to sit and turn on my PS5 and race all day. So racing is fun. So I played Gran Turismo 7 on my PS5, but I play it single player. So yes, I'm not lazy. I'm just efficient. That's a good call on that one. Okay. Like I said, I'm killing time for the next 2 minutes because we got an ad break, and then I'll do the thing that I set up, which is it's kind of silly, but it'll give you guys a basic foundry for where I'm coming from in regards to creativity and games and things like that. Wow, what just happened? A whole bunch of people just came in. Our dad. So our dad mentioned hello. I'm assuming they have to be coming from Thor's people, because all of them are saying, Dad, hello, Dad. Goblins are here. That's funny. Yes, my boy's people have come. They have invaded my space. And they've come just in time for the ad break. Thor said, you're our dad. Oh, did he? Well, you can tell Thor that if all of you are my children, he loses a large amount of his inheritance. Because kids cost money. So if you want to contribute to your own inheritance, do so. Thor said we would share you. He would share you with us. Hello, Father. Okay, there's a whole yeah. Thor just barraged me with people. I literally went from I think it was 40 people to almost 1,000. So here's what we're gonna do. We have 35 seconds before the ad break, and then when I come back, I'm gonna do this presentation that I put together. It's like I said, it's kind of silly, but it will basically tell you about me and in regards to who I am, where I come from, what I've worked on, and we'll see how it goes. You know, worst comes to worst, you guys will go, "Oh my God, what an egotistical bastard." It's not meant to be egotistical, as most know. I do not like talking about my work, but Thor said, "No, my dad." I will discuss it with him offline. We have ads starting shortly, so I will put the ad zombie up, and I will probably add. I need to add my camera screen to the ad zombie page, I think. So for those that are not seeing the ads. Okay, where are we at? Basically, the presentation we're going to do is we're going to say, why I appreciate being a game developer, and is the name of the presentation. That's what we're going to do. And we'll go forward from there. Oh, apparently someone started a hype train. Well, thank you. Let's see. Ads are coming. Should be any second now. Got a big orange button that just says ads starting soon. Wait for it. Wait for it. Let's beat Thor. I don't even know what Thor's hype train record is. I only found out about hype trains officially on Thursday last week, which I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Yeah, but I still also have to draw up a whole bunch of badges and icons and things like that. So we're in ads right now. Let me read back on some of this stuff. Your son, is he a subscriber? I don't know. I'm not sure. He may be. It's a world record. I don't know about that. It is what it is. But yeah, please throw some subs out there. Do your thing. Thor said he's not our dad. He's my dad. Okay. I have been claimed by Thor. He has chosen not to share his inheritance with the rest of you. But he does have to share with his brothers. So there is a 50-50 split going on there. That is not a Thor zombie. That is a me zombie. I look like Thor before Thor looked like Thor. I gave him that face with the help of his mother. But you can definitely tell that he's my kid. I can't get away from that. I will be a stepfather. How about that? I'm your stepfather. No, that just comes off creepy. Never mind. Thor before Thor. Before Thor was Thor. No, that is actually, and I talked about it before, that is a painting. That's weird. Yeah, something's gone down because it says that the ads are starting in 0 seconds. So the API is not working. So I'm going to need to rely on you guys for when the ads are done. Because I can't see it here. There's nothing here that's telling me your dad is at least gonna congratulate you on your birthday. Yeah, I called him on his birthday. I called both him and his brother on their birthdays. No ad yet. Okay, I don't know what's going on with this. Is the stream still running? Someone was saying that the API for Twitch was having some problems. So we're not in ads right now. You guys are not seeing ads. No ads. Can you see me now? I just turned me back on. It should come back on right about now. Are you seeing me? Yes. Okay. Well, then we'll just go ahead. I mean, if the ads go, the ads go. Just let me know, and I will stop doing what we're doing because I'm going to do this thing. And let's go to our screen here. And here is the first page. I need to pull this crappy crap up. So basically this presentation, this was something that I usually do, or I did for when I start at a new company and start running a new team. Because the last few years I go in and I run teams, and what I want to do is give them a brief introduction of who I am, what I do, and all that. And so here we are. Hopefully everything will run right and we will go. Okay. Now it says the ads are starting in 14 seconds. So just before I was going to start, it came back up. So ads in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now it says ads starting soon. So we're going to, just when I thought I was going to start this thing, Thor probably probed your stream temporarily. Yeah, he threw some people in, which I appreciate. Thank you very much. God, you guys are awesome. But thank you. But once I get started on this thing, I want it to be like one full thing. Side banner appeared for me, but no ads. It says ads will be starting soon again, so we'll look. I'm assuming that the orange button usually lasts about a minute. So if you wonder where I keep looking, is I have a Galaxy 9 screen, so it's the button's way over there, and the chat is way over here. So either it's locked up again, okay, it won't let me run them manually right now. That's locked out. Yeah, something screwy. I see a small ad on the right of the screen. Okay. Okay, now it says ads are starting in 0 seconds again. Okay. Something's wrong. Can I open and refresh this thing? No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, refresh. Let's try that. Survey says. Oh yeah, I broke that good. Yeah. Once again, we're going to go ahead and start. If ads start, let me know. Let's go back here. Okay. So basically, this was something I put together to just kind of show my new teams, who I am, where I come from, what I did, and all that other stuff. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to kind of run through it, and hopefully at the end of it, you guys, when we get to, there'll be a question part at the end. You guys can ask questions, but we'll do this pretty quick. Here's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to talk about my history, my entering into the game space, the game development, my game development philosophies, why I'm here, and who we are, or who are we, depending on which vernacular you choose to use. I don't know what that is. There's things popping up. I don't know what they are. So let's continue. My history. Okay. I was born blind. I was blind till I was 9 years old, as we've talked about before. I was raised not by my mother and father, but my mother and a few stepfathers in there. But we were pretty poor. My mom's family were all rednecks. They came from West Virginia, up in the hills up in West Virginia. And I have a joke that goes with it, but they don't tell the town, and I'm not going to say the town. But I became a plumber. In the 80s, I was a plumber for 9 years. So I climbed underneath a bunch of sinks. And that led to me working as a apartment manager at one point and a plumber. And I was helping a resident move the refrigerator down a staircase and fell. And the refrigerator fell on top of me. My back was pretty messed up. So I went to the State Department of Rehab, and they gave me a bunch of tests. And they said, okay, you can... Ooh, that went blank. Why did that go blank? Come back here. Don't touch the wheel. Okay, so they gave me a bunch of tests, and I ended up they said to go into computers and art and things like that. And I'm like, okay, how do I do that? And they paid for my college. So the state of California paid for my college. And I went and learned computers and stuff like that. And I went into television for a little while. I was in television for about a year and a half, somewhere around there. I always say 2 years because I rounded up, but it's about a year and a half. And then I entered in the game space, and that's where I met Mike and Alan on all them. And this is what we did. So this was what we did at Silicon Synapse. These are all the games we worked on, the ports we worked on, all of those kind of things. So you can see like the games we're playing, like Rock and Roll Racing is in there, Lost Vikings is in there. We still have to get to Blackthorn and Death and Return of Superman, Justice League Task Force. We probably won't get into the ports, which is like Lord of the Rings for Amiga and Dvorak on Typing, and Lexicross and all those. We probably won't get into those because I don't have them. But they weren't original thoughts, and I really wanted to play through the games of the stuff that we made ourselves, stuff that had our original ideas in them and stuff like that. But this is basically what we did from 1991 to 1994. Some games were good, some were bad, some were dead, but they were all just amazing games. And what we learned from these is and we used to call it killing your babies, is you can have an absolutely brilliant idea, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And it's better to kill it off and put it into history than to put it out. So you can see that most of these games were a lot of fun games. The one in the middle there, the KidWorks 2, that was the one that introduced us to Jen and Bob Davidson. And they took Silicon and Synapse and bought us and turned us into Blizzard Entertainment. And then we did a few things. Let's see. How many things did we do? We did a lot, So here's all the things that I've worked on since 1994. That includes the stuff that I did after leaving Blizzard down at the bottom, because I did go and work at 6 Foot with Dreadnought and Rime, and then went to was at Amazon for a short time and worked on New World, and then a game that didn't come out that I actually kind of liked, and then spent the last 4 years at Jagex in Cambridge in the UK, working on RuneScape and RuneScape, old school RuneScape, and that was fun, So that was the big part. Like I said, I'm going to try to burn through this first part because it's very much too much ego for me to deal with. But if you wanted to look at it as, okay, there's all those pictures, but what are they? Here's all of them in a list. So I'm like, okay, we have the successes, we have ports and others, we have the rest, which are all the other games that were out there. We have, and the failures, because there were quite a few failures along the line. Most of the failures that are on, in fact, all the failures on this list are from Blizzard, from 1995 all the way to 2014 when Titan failed. But these were all the games that I've worked on. And that's quite a career. I always tell people, I go, look, when I'm starting with a new team, I'm going, look, what we do here may not change my career, but if we do it right, it will change yours, and you'll learn, and you'll become better at what we do. And I've been very successful with those teams that I've had the pleasure of working with and running and stuff like that. And I always hope that I've left them better than when I found them. And we will see. Okay, wait a minute. The ads went up? Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, where did the ads come up? When do the ads start? I apologize for the spam. We're back from ads. Ads over. Okay, let me back up. Okay, I'm going to back up simply because I don't know where ads started. Approximately 2 minutes ago. So unfortunately, there's no time. Okay, we'll just start here. And we'll go from, okay, and then I left. I went to school, and the state of California paid for it. I went into television, worked on television, worked in television for about a year and a half. And then early game slide. Okay, so this one. Okay. So these were the games that we made from 1991 to 1994. And as you can see, these are the ones on top. All the Super Nintendo ones are the ones that we're going to be playing through on this stream. The bottom ones are ports and things like that we did, because we did a lot of ports to keep the doors open. So we did a lot of conversions from DOS to Windows 3.1. And then we also learned a lot of lessons here. Like, one was, you can have an amazing idea, you can nurture it and grow it and do all that stuff, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So we just call it killing our babies. I know it's a terrible play on words. However, that is how it felt. Is when you have amazing ideas and you're working through them and you're trying to get them out there, you really become very, very attached to them, and it is just painful to let them go. And so we told, I think Alan Turing came up with that saying, but it was how we did it. It was how we did it. But we also said, what some of us did, we also saved those ideas because we didn't know if they were ever going to be used later. So, and a lot of them were used later. So I always say to everybody, and I've said it on the stream a couple of times, to save every idea that you have. Don't give them up. Don't ever give them up. Because you never know. It could be it could be a week, it could be a month, it could be a year. That idea will one day be very, very important to have. I also showed on here that KidWorks 2 is the port that we were doing for Davidson Associates. That's how we met Jan and Bob Davidson. They're the ones that bought us and made us Blizzard Entertainment, and they were awesome. So with KidWorks 2, Mike did all the programming and I did all the art conversion for that. So that was a lot of fun. The question time will come later. And then from 1994 till now, this is everything that I worked on in some fashion or some way, or was involved in some way. It also includes my short time at Amazon, where I did a little bit of stuff for New World, and then another game that didn't get released. And then Dreadnought, when I went to 6 Foot in Houston. Dreadnought and Rhyme were released by them, and Dreadnought, both of them are still really up there and good, and still being played today. And then, of course, I spent the last 4 years in Cambridge in the UK working on old school RuneScape and RuneScape. So those were fun. And this is them. This is everything I've worked on or had something to do with in the last 33 years. So yeah, lots of fun, lots of good things. Okay, now I also had the chance, because we made great games, I also got the chance to go to some amazing places. So we have at the bottom here, of course, BlizzCon. In the middle there, the four of us walking on the bottom there. That's us walking up to George Lucas's house on Skywalker Ranch. And that's Russell Brower, Chris Metzen, Nick Carpenter, and myself walking up to the ranch, where, as I told the story earlier on the stream, that was about 25 minutes before I insulted Lucas, Mr. George Lucas. I apologize. I did not mean to insult you. The building there on the bottom is actually where we had the 100-piece orchestra we were recording for the music for one of the games. And then, of course, Abbey Road Studios up there on the top. On the right there, where it looks like it's a slum, that's actually Windmill Studios in Dublin, which is owned by U2. And we recorded the Hell choir for Diablo 3 there, and then at Abbey Road we recorded the Heaven choir. That was a lot of fun. Those were really fun. Yeah, I love the George Lucas story too, but I'm assuming he's going to have me shot by if he has me shot by a stormtrooper, that'll actually work out because they'll miss. Yeah, I'll have to think about that. So I was dodged left. And then I think the middle one, I believe that was Paris. So that was fun. But we also went to Seoul, Korea. We went to a lot of different places and got to see some amazing places like the Palace de Versailles and all that stuff. And Elodie was our guide when we were in Paris, and she just took us everywhere. She took us down to Mont Saint Michel and took us down to Normandy because Tristan's grandfather had come on had come on the beach at Normandy, and he wanted to see Normandy. So that was kind of cool. I enjoyed all that. That was like a lot of fun. But she drove us around France in her little car. It was a lot of fun. And then I also got to meet, because of making great games, we got to meet some amazing people. So we have Jay Moore, Jack Black, Dave Grohl, John Kurlander, Christian Finnegan, Ozzy Osbourne, of course, Gerald Brom, who is the one that painted the ad zombie. He painted it of me, which I thought was very nice of him. And then Russell Brower, of course, who is like an amazing composer. And then also got to work with some amazing bands: Tenacious D, Foo Fighters, The Offspring, Metallica, Blink 182, Level 90 Elite Tour and Chieftain, which is just the house band, which is Mike Morheim and Sam Didier and Chris Siggety and Alan DeBerry, Shane DeBerry's brother. Great band, great guys. But here's a picture of some of them. Like in the top right up here, you'll see Dave Grohl when he's the drummer for Tenacious D when they played. And he came off stage and said, "Can I bring my band next year?" And we're like, "Sure." So it was before they announced that the Foo Fighters were getting back together. And so the next year he brought the Foo Fighters, and there in the center is him and the Foo Fighters on stage. That was a lot of fun. And then Jay Moore, I love Jay Moore. He hosted BlizzCon for many, many years, and took a lot of jokes and just really understood the crowd and really liked it. Chris Finnegan over here on the left, he was the very first comic ever to do BlizzCon. It was the very first BlizzCon. And I love him because he walked around the floor the whole BlizzCon and wrote jokes about BlizzCon. And he was absolutely hilarious. My favorite still was he goes, "You girls, you're BlizzCon hot." That was one of his jokes, and it was just he had a whole explanation for it. And out in the real world, you're hot, but you could be hot, but there's hotter people. But here, you're BlizzCon hot. So that was fun. And of course, Ozzy. And then the guy down here in the white shirt, that's John Kurlander. He did all of the engineering for all the recording of the orchestras and all that other stuff. He worked at Abbey Road Studios for 40 plus years, and then started doing some freelance stuff. And we got really lucky in that he would come to wherever we were recording, and he would do all of the engineering and all that other stuff. He was just amazing. And if I remember correctly, and he worked on, if you haven't heard it, Jeff, what is Jeff's last name? But there's a War of the Worlds out there, which is, if I make the sound, if I can do it right, I'll probably mess it up, but it's like, Gulag. There's a War of the Worlds version out there. There's a musical that has Richard Burton narrating it and stuff like, yes, Jeff Wayne. He worked on the engineering for that, but he also worked on the engineering for like Dark Side of the Moon and stuff like that. So he was like really cool. And he's just a all around just awesome guy. Okay, let's see. And then here's a bunch of just cool stuff. So obviously, Joy Ray's Bar and StarCraft, I can't lie, it's right there. Signs there and everything. And then you can buy the t-shirt. So the t-shirt is out there, still around. Brom painting of me as zombie, which I'm using here as the ad zombie. And then Blizzard Service Awards. Like someone had asked about how long you have to do for a ring. So 5 years is the sword. If you look in the picture down there above Cartman, there's the sword you get. There's a shield. If I go to the Just Me picture, the shield is actually back here behind me. So I have my shield here. 20 years, you get the helm, which is right here, which we talked about yesterday. So yay, it all kind of comes together. So this is where we're at. Let me see how we're doing here. Okay, everything seems still be working, so good. PowerPoint sucks. what do you think about the character of you in South Park? I thought it was cool. I thought it was funny. Trey did not tell me, so what had happened is on the very last night, we were doing the final shots and all that stuff, and they were doing the edit in the edit room. And I walked in there and I saw, just for a brief second, the picture of him came up and then went back down. And I went to myself, I go, that kind of looked like me. And I think that's the next slide. So here's all the South Park stuff. So I'm like, that kind of looked like me. And he, and his lead animator. So I went back out to the main hall, which is where you see all of us down here in the bottom with the Kenny and Cartman things on the wall. So I went back out there, and their lead animator, June, came out and he goes, Joe, I have to talk to you about something. I'm like, okay. I go, it's me. And he goes, yeah, it's you. So Trey thought it would be funny to make He Who Has No Life look like me. And you can see the picture of me there on the left with my hat on, that there's a definite resemblance of that time. And then if you look at the picture down here that says Baja, that's the shirt I was wearing. If you look at He Who Has No Life, his shirt is just the reverse of that shirt and stuff like that. But yeah, there's confirmation that that the character was modeled after me, and I thought it was absolutely hilarious. And I remember after the show came out, and Mike and Alan had called me and said, "Oh my God, you're on South Park," and I'm like, "Yeah." And Mike reminded me that back in 1994, around the time that everybody's watching OJ and the Bronco running down the California highway, I brought in a cassette tape of The Spirit of Christmas, where Jesus fights Santa Claus, and which was the very first thing that Matt and Trey had done. My understanding is they did it for a Christmas card for a friend and a company that his friend worked for. So he thought it was cool that I got to be in it because I introduced them to South Park in the first place. And then up here at the top, you'll see my sword and my shield in the background, and then me and the boys, and then below that are the three versions of me, because I do show up. Because I am now a resident of South Park, I do show up in the background in a lot of episodes. Last count, I think there was like 19 episodes where I'm in there. My favorite was the one where they're taking Britney Spears out to sacrifice her in the town square, and I'm standing next to her going, "Kill her!" So that one was funny. But every now and then someone will send me an email saying, "You're in another South Park," and they'll point me out. But if you look at the top here where it says "Make Love Not Warcraft" in yellow, that's the whole team. So we have Joanne, we have Lee, then Taryn, Matt, of course, in the center there, then Rob Foote, Brandon, my very first employee, and we'll probably talk about that at some point. Me at the bottom, of course, giving the finger, and then Trey, and then Tristan Pope. So this was a lot of fun. This was and it's something that wasn't supposed to happen. Originally, the cinematics team went down there, and they were going to work with the cinematics team to do the episode, but there were huge time constraints. So Shane DeBerry just said to them, "Well, what if Joey Ray's team came down here and let's see what if we can see if they can do it." And it was funny because the team had only formed like a month before. I had only built the machinima team a month before and hired them and all that stuff. And so we had to go up and see if we could build the characters that were going to be used in the show, the actual WoW characters in the show. And so I took Tristan up with me, but I didn't tell him where we were going, so we drove all the way up there. I go, "Yeah, we're just doing this thing. We have to do it for Shane. And we're going to just build some characters in WoW and all that." But I didn't tell him where we're going. And we got there and we got through security and we parked and we walked in and he goes, "Are we at South Park?" I go, "Yes, we are. Don't worry. Matt and Trey aren't even here. You can't, everything's going to be fine. Nothing's going to happen. We're just going to build some characters and talk to Frank, their producer, and all that." So we went into the room and they had a computer set up and WoW running, and Tristan sat down, and Matt and Trey walked in the room and sat down on either side of him and just said, "Okay, let's build characters." And scared him to death. But it was so funny because so when we finished building all the characters that were in the show, They said, okay, you know what? We think we can do this. So we went back. I told him he couldn't tell anybody on the team where we went or what we did because of secrecy stuff. And he didn't tell them. And then the next day we all piled into my car and did the same thing. We drove up, didn't tell them where we were going, walked in, and they're just like, oh my God. And there's like the puppets for Team America are like in a case on the wall, and I'm just like, they're just like dying. I'm just like, oh, don't worry, we're never even going to see them. Of course, they walk right out and they go, okay, let's get started. And that's the picture. You can see everybody down on the bottom there working with Matt. Matt is leaning against the post there. Trey is in the white shirt in front of us. Frank, their producer, is the one that's in the gray hair, kind of looking to the right. And then you see Tristan and Taryn and Rob and Lee and Brandon and everybody. And I'm taking the picture, so I'm not in it. So, but then I built my my South Park wall in my house in California, which is the thing that's in the bottom right that you guys have seen parts of it. Wow. Okay, let's move on. Okay, who were we? The original Blizzard people, we were just a bunch of people that wanted to make great games. That's all we cared about. We didn't worry about analytics. We didn't worry about anything. We worried about what we wanted to play and what we wanted to do. We didn't think about it beyond that. We looked at every game that we were playing and asked ourselves basically, what's good about it, what's bad about it, and how would we do it? How would we do it better? It was always the case. And we played everything. I don't think there was a time when people weren't playing something new or looking at something that was really old, because you have to. Sorry, this thing's really touchy. And another thing is if you look at early games, it says designed by Blizzard Entertainment. There's not a lead designer or anything like that because all of us pitched in. We didn't want to make big stars out of people. We just wanted to say, okay, here's Blizzard. And we wanted to make Blizzard as an overall concept, as a place to go for good games. We did not believe our own press because this is good or bad. There are people in our industry that when they start getting good press, whether it's the company or something else, they believe it's all about them. They're the reason why. And that's always not the case. The case is always the good games you make are because the whole team did their job and the whole team jumped in and were creative about it. It's not, there's no just one person anywhere. No matter what was said, like if someone said, we don't believe in it or all that, we still move forward because we believed in it. And that held true with Warcraft, the original, because Alan went around and shopped that game to so many companies and all of them said, no, that game's a loser. No, we're not going to back it. We just got very lucky that Jan and Bob Davidson said, you believe in it, we believe in you, do it. There's also a thing, and this is with every company, no matter where you are, whether it's a game company or a perfume company, there's always going to be people in that group that are going to take credit for your work. And that's fine. Let them take credit. Because what's going to happen is someone's going to hire them to do that work, and they're not going to know how to do it because they didn't do it in the first place. And it's really fun to watch them get karma on it, even though I don't believe in karma, but it's kind of funny to watch them fail miserably because they took credit for your work. And then people usually come and go, do you know how to do this? And go, of course I do. Here, just do this. Done. But nobody will ever be able to repeat what a good team can do. And no single person can repeat what a good team can do. Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of people back there that regret not taking Warcraft, because Warcraft, you got to remember, back in 1991, a hit game was 50,000 copies. That was like unheard of. 50,000 copies was a hit game. When we released Warcraft 1, Bob Davidson said, we're going to release 75,000 copies. We're like, you're out of your mind. But he was right. And we sold 75,000. We sold all those copies and had to make more. 9 months later, when we released Warcraft 2, he said, we're releasing 250,000 copies. And he was right. We sold all of those copies. It was huge, lots of fun. But in that time, we also supported each other on everything. So we realized if any team fails, it was our responsibility to help pick them up. That's why you hear a lot of things like in the making of stuff, the behind the scenes stuff, the 20-year stuff, even in Play Fair, is you hear about the fact that if one team was struggling, the other teams would send people over to help pick them up and do that, and help whatever it is that they've broken. 100,000 can be seen as a failure. Oh, absolutely. 100,000 copies could be a failure today. And I think my way of looking at it, you sell 100,000 copies of anything, dude, that's awesome. How much revenue is 70,000 copies in 1991? No, the company probably could not have supported itself on that. But we had a parent company that could help us. And with Warcraft 2 and Diablo, which came out next, our revenue streams increased quite a bit. So we were able to pay for ourselves. We are also a very small team. When we released Warcraft 1, I think there was only 24 of us in the whole company. The company didn't massively grow in size until WoW came out, because we had to grow to support all those people. So that, let's see. To my point earlier is, yes, there were many, many different departments, but we were all Blizzard. We were all one entity. And the entity, the departments help support the entity. So, because our theory was, and this is something I think a lot of companies now don't think about, is there was a time when the Blizzard logo came up and you didn't care. People didn't care what came after that. They went, I want whatever they're selling, because I know that what they're selling is going to be an awesome game, no matter what. Just knew it. And that was our goal, was to be able to do that. And so when I go to other companies, like they'll go, our game is X. I'm like, okay. And I've heard of the game, all that. And then they go, and I go, well, what company are you? And they tell me the name of the company. And I go, I've never heard of your company. It's just as important to build the reputation of a company as it is to build a following for the game. So yeah. But it's important because we are Blizzard, but I work for Team 1 today. I work for Team 2 today. I work for Team 3 today. But I'm Blizzard all the time. I'm Blizzard morning, noon, and night. I'm Blizzard. Okay. If people ask me how long was I at Blizzard, I retired from Blizzard on November 23rd, 2014. I worked there from September 13th, 1991 to November 23rd, 2014. 23 years, 2 months, 8 hours, 12 minutes, and 14 seconds. I know because I know what time I had to be at work the first day, and I know what time I left the last, even though I did spend 2 hours sitting in my car in the parking lot before driving off the lot crying, because I was just like, holy crap, what have I done? Was there WoW was exactly that. It was a holy crap, what have we done? Because it was big. We knew we were in trouble not in trouble, but we knew we had done an amazing job, because when we showed up at Fry's for Warcraft 3, a couple thousand people showed up. We signed boxes for the midnight release, for like 2 hours. A couple months later, when WoW came out, over 7,000 people showed up, and we signed boxes till 6 o'clock in the morning. We, at one point, we had to send people back to Blizzard because Fry's Electronics in Fountain Valley there ran out of games, and we went and grabbed all the employee copies and brought them for Fry's to be able to sell, so that everybody would get a copy that night. That was out of control. We also had to take the game down for a little bit because there were so many people logging in that we couldn't support them. So we went back, and the IT guys and everybody were building servers like there was no tomorrow, trying to get them up. and running. So yeah, that was huge, huge. And then we didn't have the employees to support the game, and that's when we started really hiring like madmen for QA people and all that to help run the game and manage it. So okay, so why am I here? Like I said, this was originally set up for when I'm coming in to run a team. So to help you on your first steps of having a career I've had. And that's true. I mean, anything that I can do to help you, even as a yearling, to learn about our industry, to get into it, to make games, to any experience that I have that I can help you do that, I'm going to do. And that's kind of what this whole streaming thing is about, is how can I help? And we'll go from there. And I'm here to help you learn, grow, and help each other. That's why we started like the learning channel on Discord and all that stuff, so people can go in and share different things that they learn. Oh, wow. This time I caught it. It says that ads are starting soon. So I'm going to leave that there. We're going to go to the ad zombie here in a minute. That's why you're an awesome person. Well, I don't know about that. Let's see where we are. It reminds me of Thor telling us to go make games. Yeah, the worst you can do is think about it forever and never do it. Try it. Even if you fail, you're going to have fun doing it. Sorry, this thing says, okay, I don't know what it's going to do. It still has a big orange tab on it. So I'll answer some questions till then. Linux, OS, and how computers work. You learned English from Diablo. That's awesome. Didn't I know that was possible, but cool. I mean, the game. Okay. We are in ads. Well, give me a second to calm my voice down because I'm like coughing and choking and stuff. I'm going to drink some tea. And I thought I had some cough drops here somewhere. Yes, I know my microphone is on. You're listening to me babble to myself here. Okay, let's look up here. Hello. Is using Arch Linux a good idea? And I understand. I don't use Linux, so I don't know. No, I don't know. Yeah, the more games you make, the better you're going to get at it, even the ones that you fail at. Yeah, we're still in ads. This thing still says there's a minute left for ads. So I will check on other things here. Yeah, so that's okay. I'm trying to be aware of the ads, but I also missed them, and I apologize. I missed the last ones, but they're, like I said, something's going on with the Twitch API, so I don't take all the blame. I take it all. I'll take some of it. But we will come back here. I heard you'll learn a lot. Yeah. Let's see. It should be coming out of ads in 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Screen caps. Hopefully we are back up. Let me give it a second. Group students working beginning. Yeah, I mean, the more you dive into it, the more that you try. And even if you're just running through tutorials on YouTube for like Game Maker Studio or stuff like that, you're going to find that the skills that you're learning that you don't actually realize sometimes that you are learning, that those skills are going to transfer over into Unity and all the other game systems. Is just pick one, doesn't matter which one, and try to make something. And as you, what is this? Okay, I don't know what snooze is, but okay, we'll leave that. But go and try to make something, even if it's something simple. And I think Thor says this as Bucks. He said it to me a couple times. Before you make your big game, go make a little game. Something small, like make yourself a little like top down looking dot running through a maze game or something and see what you learn. You're going to learn enough to where you can make a whole lot more things. Snooze, postpones. Oh, okay. I'm not worried about it. We got 25 minutes and this thing isn't that much longer. But yeah, so I'm here to talk about the things I've done, how we've done them, why we did some of them. I'm not going to be able to answer every question because all I'm going to do is I'm going to be able to tell you what we did from my perspective. It may not be the same perspective of anybody else that was in the room, but I can just tell you how I felt about it and what I did. Thank you for letting me know what snooze is. I did not know. Okay, timer's running good. Okay. So my game development philosophy, and this is basically what I learned while in early Blizzard. Make a great game. This was the North Star of every decision. If we were not going to make a great game, we would not make it. And we proved that throughout the years that if we didn't feel it was good enough, we got rid of it. We threw it away, even if it was something that people were expecting, because we did announce several games at E3 and stuff like that ended up getting killed, and the public didn't understand it. But the bottom line was we didn't think that they were good enough, and that's actually a really, really good place to be in, is to be able to say, you know what, this ain't working. I need to throw it away and make something else. Lean into feedback and own it, even if you do not agree. There's a lot of feedback that you're going to get that you're going to go, okay, that person is full of shit. I'm not listening to him. That is the wrong way to look at it. Look at the feedback from their perspective. If they have played your game, then they can tell you what it is that they have experienced in your game, and you should listen. I'm not talking about reviewers and stuff like that. I'm talking about actual players. Be aware of your surroundings and reactions to people you work with. Okay. What I talk about in this, and people ask about the color theory behind early Blizzard games, and people go, "Oh my God, it's so saturated, it's so cool looking, it's so bright. What made you guys? What was your philosophy behind that?" And our philosophy was very, very simple. When Sam and I and the artist guys were making art in the early days for the Super Nintendo games, our boss was colorblind. So we had to keep bumping up the colors so that he could tell the difference between them. And we got to the point where we just left the colors bumped up, and that became basically became Blizzard's color theory. So the oversaturated bright colors it just became natural for us to do it that way, so that our boss, Alan Edham, could see it, because he had a little bit of color deficiency stuff going, which is not a bad thing. It's just, it made for a very iconic look for our games. Now, of course, you listen to everything that people have to say. It doesn't mean you always have to change stuff. Sometimes it's just about, you know what, I've heard your thing, but I think I'm going to go in this direction, and as a game maker, you have that responsibility to make the game that you want to make, not necessarily one that every single the top 1% in Reddit or stuff like that are saying the game should be this. That's not their call. You're responsible as a game maker to make the game that you want to make, and to make a game that you think is fun. And the audience will come to it. If you believe in it and you put everything into it that you can, make it the way you want to do it, the audience will come to it and they will play it and they will like it, because you were honest with yourself. You didn't cheat or take short steps to get it out there. You actually took the time and made it right. Ask yourself, what I tell a friend about this game? This is something that I find very fascinating in a lot of companies. Is people who work on games that don't or won't tell their friends to go play that game. If you do not feel comfortable enough to tell a friend to play the game that you're making the wrong game. And I'm not talking about like, okay, we have to keep it a secret undercover until the announcement and all that stuff. I'm not talking about that because that's just normal in every single game. And we'll cover part of that with something that came up yesterday in a little bit. But once the game is out there and people know about it, if you don't want to tell your friends to play it, you should not be working on that game. That game probably should be thrown away. In all honesty, it's just not. It's not going to do as well as it's not going to do well at all. One of the early signs that we'd had that our games were good or not is when people were on their off time, like their lunchtime or after work and stuff like that. When they started playing the game on their off time, we knew we were going in the right direction. Absolutely, yes. Be proud. If you're not proud of your work, don't put it in front of an audience, a paying audience. It will backfire on you every time. Listen to everyone that has something to say about our game. We did. Every voice matters. And then there's a caveat, but not every voice is right. But you still have an obligation to listen to those voices. You still have an obligation when you're sitting in a meeting to listen to something that someone says, even though if you think it's absolute horse crap. Even the worst ideas can trigger the right idea in somebody else if it's heard. Because it might be that there might be a little itty bitty piece there that's going to solve a problem for the great idea that's sitting across the table. So always listen to ideas. Always. Remember that you are talented. This is why you are here. Show how good you can be. What I always tell people is that artists is this. It's like, I'm going to give you an assignment. I'm going to say, do this. And I'm going to say, draw me a flower. And you're going to draw a flower. And I'm going to go, okay. While you were working on that flower, at any point did your brain says, you know what, if I did this to this flower, it would be cooler. And they say, yes, it did. And I go, well, why didn't you do that then? Well, because you asked for this. And what I said is this. I go, what I found when I was doing art is this, is while I was working on something, my subconscious was working on it too. And my subconscious would say, you know what you're doing is good, but if you did this, it would be better. So what I started doing was I would make what was asked, but then I would make an alt and add those ideas that came to me while I was doing that artwork. And 9 times out of 10, the stuff that came to me while I was doing the artwork is the stuff that they picked. I presented it all. Said, here's everything that I worked on, but here, and I would just go, here's the ones you have to choose from. But always follow those little brief aspirations of genius. Always, because that's why you're there. You're there to show off your talents and to do those things. Always do your best work on every task and do it quickly. One of the things that we talk, in fact, I'll talk about it a little bit, but it's the speed at which artists do things. I think that artists do some of their best work when they're underneath when they're underneath some pressure, not when they're just, not when they have all the time in the world. Give more than you ask for, which is what we're talking about in regards to, those alts, when you have them, do them. If you don't have the right equipment for the job, don't expect it to be done right on time. And this is a thing to managers and to companies. You can ask for anything in the world, but if your team doesn't have the right equipment to do it, you're asking them to fail. And that's not cool. And you're never going to get the quality that you want because they're going to always be under duress because they don't have the right stuff. There were times at different companies where I've brought in my own equipment to get things done and had to get it done, and then companies just went, well, why'd you do that? You should be bringing your own equipment. I go, well, you're not providing me with the equipment I need to do the job. So, but I would suggest never bring your own equipment to work because it slowly becomes like, oh, they expect you to do it all the time, but it's not a good thing because they're not going to take care of your equipment. Others want to feel they are part of why your work is good. Yes. Okay. So you see the duck. Many people have already asked, can I pet the duck? No, the duck is there for a specific reason. One of the things we learned very early on with early producers at Interplay and stuff like that is we always felt like they wanted to feel like they were part of the decision making things and stuff like that. We would do really, really good work, and then they come in and they would pick something minor out to change. So what we started doing was we started putting a duck somewhere in the scene with the artwork that we were showing so that they could go, oh, everything's great, just remove the duck. That way they get their thing about they get to change something, but we get to keep all the artwork that we like and stuff like that. So we always had a duck somewhere, and they would always find it and go, get rid of the duck, so that's why the duck is up there. Because people want to feel like when you're making something really, really awesome for them, they want to feel like they're part of it too. So give them something, and it doesn't have to be a duck. It can be anything. Give them something where they can say, I helped. And it could be a little thing. It could be just about anything. For us, it was a duck. So that was always fun. There was nothing good. And this comes back to time. There is nothing fun about a job that never frickin' ends. You need to set parameters. You need to set goalposts. You need to set guardrails for your artists and stuff like that to grow and to give you their best stuff. But you also have to set time limits, because without time limits, an artist will keep drawing on something until their pencils are raw. So if you ask, in fact, it's on the next slide, I think. So we'll talk about it there. But for right now, yes, give them something that they can say, I helped. Okay. Yeah. See, yes, give them something to change. Always. Let's see, where are we going? Bye, duck. There goes the duck. He's gone. Artists. An artist is like a goldfish. I'm sorry, they are. They grow to the size of their bowl. If you keep an artist in a tiny bowl only doing one thing over and over and over again, he's never going to grow. He's never going to evolve. He's never going to do anything. You have to keep giving them bigger tanks. More art. They need, their work affects the player. I always say that if you keep your artist happy when you're making a game, their artwork's going to show that. There's going to be a visceral transference of that happiness to the player. I don't know why, it just is. And so if you're angry, if your artist is angry all the time, if your artist is stressed all the time, the player's going to get that from that artist's work. Plus, you should be growing them anyway. They should always be trying to find a bigger bowl. They should always be given opportunities to learn new things. So that was always my thing on artists. If you tell an artist you have 3 days to do something, they're going to do it in 3 days. You give them the same thing, you say you have 10 days to do it. They're going to take 10 days. So always give them the lower number. Give them enough stress to where they can be more creative, because stress does cause you to be more creative. Also, expose yourselves to new things. We were talking about this the other day. Expose yourself to stuff. If you have an artist block, it's because your subconscious is empty and it's used up all the stuff it has. Go to the zoo, go to the movies, go to the mall, go out and do things. Because what you're doing is you're looking at new things. Go to the museums, go to science fairs, go to all that stuff. Because what you're doing is you're packing your subconscious with material to use for your artwork. When you get an art block, it's because it's used up all the material it has. The way I've always explained this is, and I'm sure everybody's done this, where you're at work, you drive home, you're at home, and you do not remember driving home. And the reason you don't remember driving home is because your subconscious had nothing new to look at on your way home. It's already seen the stop sign. It's already seen the church on the corner. It's already seen the liquor store. It has nothing to store in your head. So by the time you get home and you're doing stuff and you don't remember the ride home, because nothing eventful happened on that ride home. It's the same thing with artwork. you need to have that constant feed of new stuff coming in so that you can grow bigger and make better stuff and things like that. So you have to keep that stuff going. You have to keep feeding it. Study the great authors, study color theory. And it's funny because we had an argument early on because some of the things that we were doing didn't follow color theory. But does that mean you don't do color theory? No, you absolutely go out and learn all the rules and the requirements for the job you're doing, like in this particular case, color theory, the great artists, all that stuff. Then once you know all the rules, you can find out where you can break them and have the most impact. So you don't have to always follow the rules, but knowing them gives you more range to play with. And the thing that I use, and I think it's Kubrick that does this, is he will take the 180 rule, which is a filming rule for when people are sitting talking to each other. And he will break that 180 rule to build tension in the audience. The audience won't realize what's going on, but all they'll know is that they're uncomfortable. And some film shots, if you cut them in a specific order or out of order in regards to how your brain works, you can build tension and things like that. So those are the things that you want to do. That's why you want to know what the rules are so that you know why you're breaking them and how you're breaking them and what feelings you're putting into someone while you're breaking them. Learn new techniques. Always learn new stuff. Every day learn something new. It doesn't matter what it is. Could be about what you do, could not be. It doesn't matter. Always be learning new things, new techniques. Learn new programs. Like if you use Photoshop, go out and use Painter once in a while. Go out and learn a little bit of 3D like Blender or Maya or whatever. Learn everything. If all you can do is, another thing that I tell people is because as we all know in this industry, there can be layoffs. It happens. But from my experience, if you only do one thing, the odds of you being laid off is greater than somebody that does two things. So always learn new things. Always be training yourself. If you're an artist, you know what? And you do, say, texture maps for 3D models. Also learn how to model maybe. Also learn how to do a little bit of animation here and there. Learn those other techniques because the more value you bring to the table, the less likely they're going to pick you if layoffs should happen. And use those techniques. Use that learning to show at your job that you do more than one thing. Artists no longer have to die. That's true. We live in a time for the first time in probably the last 100 years, the first time in history, where artists can make a shit ton of money and not die to get it. So I would definitely say always learn new things, always stuff. Also for artists, no matter what, every piece of art you ever do, you're going to look at and say, I need to fix that. That's why managers are important. There comes a time when a manager just needs to take a piece of art away from an artist because he's done too much. And I was told in my art history class way back in the 80s that the artist Monet had this problem. I think it was Monet. I'm going to use Monet as the person because I don't know, but yeah, I would wonder who's making money off Van Gogh as well, or Van Gogh. But Monet used to go into places where his artwork was, and he'd look at it, and he'd go out and he'd grab his brushes and stuff, and he'd come in and start like trying to fix them. And these were already masterpieces that were out there. And they'd have to like suspend him from galleries or suspend him from showings because he would come in and mess with his paintings. Because to him, he could not see the beauty he created. All he could see was the problems that are in the artwork. All he could see was, it's not done. I still need to fix it. So when we become into leadership, we have to be able to look at a piece of an art that an artist is doing and say, does it fit the requirements? Does it give me the emotion that I wanted to get, that we needed to give? And is it time to take it away from the artist and give him something else to work on? And like I said, I'm using Monet as the name, but I don't remember if that's the correct artist that used to do this because it's been since the 80s that I was told this story. But I use Monet because it's a name people know. Every artist who looks at their artwork after only sees what they have to fix. They do not see always what everybody else is seeing in it. Also, in regards to Van Gogh or Van Gogh, if you have not seen the Doctor Who episode with Van Gogh, probably one of the best episodes ever written. Really, really good, really good episode. And Bill Nye is in there, so it's actually kind of cool. He gets to tout Van Gogh. Okay, now we go to my philosophy. Now, in Play Fair, they talk about Alan's version of the the donut theory behind game making and game development and stuff like this. For me, it's a little bit different. For me, when it comes to game design and all that stuff, sorry. God, eventually I'm going to be able to breathe. Is your job as a designer is to make a great donut. That is your job. You need to make a donut that people are going to leave home to go buy, like Krispy Kreme level, awesome donut. But that base donut is what your job is. And nobody can take that away from you. Your next job is to say, okay, 65% of the design, the North Star, all that stuff, that is your great donut. That is what you're working towards. That is what you're building. Got a little bit away because I can't see what the next thing is here. The next thing you do is once you have that donut, that 65% donut done, and you have it all going, go to your peers. Say, here, taste this donut. What would you add to this donut? What would be good? What do you think? What are your opinions? All that kind of stuff. And then those opinions, those things that you take from your fellow peers, that's the icing on your donut. Now you have a donut with icing, and you can sell this donut anywhere. This donut would be amazing, and people will eat this donut up, and they will love it. But you're not done yet, because now you have to go and say, okay, let's let the players look at it. And the players give their ideas, and 10% player input, 100% needed. That's the sprinkles on the donut. Now you have an amazing donut. And people will buy that donut. They will eat that donut all day long. You'll be happy. You'll be able to make more donuts. You'll do all that kind of stuff. It's actually absolutely great. The problem is most companies only feed you a spoonful of sprinkles and say, eat the sprinkles. The player is the only thing we should listen to when it comes into game design. And no, I don't believe they are. I think that we as game makers, game designers, we have a responsibility to make a good game first. Not just do what the players want, because guess what? The players are not game designers. We are. We need to make a good game first. We are not going to feed sprinkles, a spoonful of sprinkles. We're going to make a great donut that's complete, that is solid, that everybody wants to eat. And that's what we're going to do. And, but your donut, your original donut, your original design, your original North Star, where all of your development people are following that North Star, that is your responsibility. That is not the responsibility of the players. That's not the responsibility of the peers. That's your responsibility. Then you start sharing it with them. And that's when you build a great donut. Yes, we have to separate our player brains from our developer brains. And we listen to the players, but understand they are players. We are developers. They are players. We are here to give them a good experience. And sometimes they don't know what that good experience is till we show them. And that's a huge responsibility, and that's a great thing to be able. That's a great place to be. Our players are why we build worlds. Yeah, they want us to do a great job. What we used to call the 1%, 1%ers, are the people that complain about everything and have the loudest voice, but they're not right. They're not always right. We're developers. We're building the world. It's our world. They're just visiting, and that's okay. If we build it right, they'll visit a lot. I'm going to hold. Well, no, we got to. I don't know if I can do this in a minute and a half. Yeah. Let's hold here a minute because it says that we have ads coming up in a minute and 10 seconds. And also give me a chance to see if there's any questions up here that I missed because I'm kind of moving pretty fast. Yes. It says, remember the ads probably start soon. They do. They start in 58 seconds. At least the little orange thing comes up in 58 seconds. Then there's another minute before it actually plays the ad, but we will be there. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm trying my best. I'm really good in front of people doing this. I've never done it like this, where I'm doing it to just a chat board. So hopefully it's coming across right. Hopefully it's making sense. Would you prefer to design the game for the 1%? No. I would not, because if you start to narrow the amount of people you're making a game for, you're going to narrow your ability to make the next game. Because the bottom line is, yes, we can be creative, we can do a bunch of stuff, but if we're not making something that a large amount of people want, they're not going to let us make the second one or the third one or stuff like that. And it's not general public. It's when you're making a game, you're making a game usually for a specific genre, like RTS or MOBA or whatever. So you're making a specific game for that. So find out as much about that as you can, then go and find out what is good, what's bad in that genre, and then pick out the things you think are good and just pretty much stack your game with it and do your best to tell the great story. Make a great donut, guys. In all honesty, just make a great donut. Okay, let's see. Still got the yellow bar, so I think you guys are still there. Would you ever wonder if you teach? I have thought about it. I have been asked a couple times to come and we're in ads. Let me finish that, and then I'll read the question out and mark it here. We're in ads. I'm going to take this moment to take a bio break. I will be right back. Okay, let me put this where I forgot to put the little zombie up. Be right back. I am back. Let me look through this here. I think I just lost the question that was asked. I think. Went to that one, the great extreme. Oh, we're back. I'm sorry. Oh, jeez. Stop reading and start paying attention, Joey Ray. If you're not paying attention, nobody else will. Okay, we are here. Okay. Gamefly. Didn't we just do this one? No. Oh, okay. Because a lot of things, like I was managing people and stuff like that the last few years, we also talked about hiring and stuff like that. But there was a question up here that I'm looking for before we get into this that I was going to answer before. And I had it highlighted, but it scrolled on me while I was in the bio break. University, we talked about that. Very interesting, learned a lot. Professor Joy Ray class. It would be funny. At least it would be entertaining. Like I said, it's much easier for me to talk in front of people than it is to talk to just streams. I'm almost caught up here. Thank you. Okay, it's not there anymore. Okay, the most currently learned, blah, blah, blah. No, I did not know that Shay was also colorblind. They had never mentioned it. If they did, I forgot. And it's highly possible that they did. I don't remember absolutely everything all the time. I have to be in the moment to recall something simply because it's conducive to what's being talked about. You know, as far as like what using Kanban and stuff like that, yes, I've used them all in the past. Jira was usually the one that we used. There was also another one that you could track artwork and stuff like that in. Any stuff like that, I'm 100% for. Another thing that I would suggest for game development teams is to have a read-only art library for your marketing people and stuff like that. And the reason I say read-only is when you create an original piece of art for stuff that they're working on, create it and put it in that read-only library so that they can pull it, and then other teams can pull it as well for different things that they're using outside of the development cycle. Because you want it read-only because you don't want them changing the artwork. Because what usually happens is someone will pull something, they'll change it, they'll put it back in your library, and then someone else will need the original and it'll be gone forever. So you don't want other people changing your stuff in your library. And it also gives you a single place of truth for the work that you're doing, so that like all the different aspects of stuff what advertising, marketing uses it for, what everybody else uses it for, hiring, all that stuff uses. It gives them a nice clean slate to work from. The next time class is at your house. No. Number one, the house I'm in right now is not my house. It's a rental because I'm still working my here today, UK tomorrow, California the next day, schedule out. So I've been lucky the last few weeks to be able to be in one spot. As an overlay on the game, as far as how does Blizzard handle color blindness, I don't know. I don't know how they're doing it these days. We would just adjust the colors to be able to meet the needs of those around us. So I don't know what they're doing today, or even if they do it. I know somebody had mentioned a while back here is they were building the game and they were thinking about all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, you're getting way too far, And if we use the analogy I did is they're supposed to be working on their donut, but what they're thinking about is how they're going to sell that donut. You cannot, when you're making your donut, put everything in it. You can't, like, one of the things that they talked about is, well, I'm trying to figure out a way to financially make it to where I can make a color blindness version. And I'm like, okay, why? Why are you doing that at this point? Make the game first. Make it the good game first, then worry about those kind of add-ons afterwards. Because the financials that you get from selling the game is going to help you to be able to build, like get a tools programmer and build colorblind filters and all those little add-ons to go with it later. But make the game first. Was basically my advice to them. Good or bad, that was my advice. Okay. Development philosophy in hiring. This is just a continuation of the last page. And we were talking about hiring and stuff like that. And the thing that I found very fascinating. Yes, when you're in a game company, you hire game players, but you don't necessarily hire the people that play your games. And here's why: is because you want them to be familiar with your games. But if they play your games, they will play your game the way they want to play it, and it may not be the way the larger audience plays it. And they may be so stuck in that way of playing it that everything that they're going to do, they're going to want to buff up that way to play it. And that's not always right, so there comes a time when their experience in your games is a detriment to your games. I'm not saying don't hire them if they play your games. Absolutely. If they're good, hire them, but make sure that they're aware that their style of gameplay isn't the only style in the game that they're working on. Train people. Yes. Train people to be better than you. Always. Like when I was in the UK, I told them because they had to do some hiring. And I told my managers, I go, if you ever bring me a hire that isn't better than you, I will reject them flat out. Hire people that are better than you. It will make your job easier. If you hire your friends who have never done it before, if you hire your cousin because your grandmother said you have to hire him and stuff like that, most of your time is going to be spent babysitting that person. And the rest of your team is going to go, why is that person in this job? He can't do it, or she can't do it. You have an obligation to hire people that are better than you. And just for the record, don't care if it's a guy or a girl. If they're better than you, if their work is amazing, get them on this floor and let's get some work done. Be awesome. But if you see someone and if you're a manager and you're looking for someone to hire and you see someone, you go, oh my God, I can't hire them. They'll have my job in a year. I would fire you on the spot. Because yes, they may have your job in a year, or your manager can go, this guy just hired an amazing person. Which means this guy knows how to pick amazing people to hire. And that is huge talent, a huge talent. But always train your people, keep them learning, always keep them going forward. And I've covered this already. Help them, if they're better than you, help them become great. One of the game's dev professors told me well, there are companies that do that. I'm telling you my philosophy. So that what Achilles is saying is that he was told by a teacher that at Riot, they were picking only top players for League of Legends. Great. If that's the way to do it. I'm telling you my philosophy. I don't believe in that. Also because you're bringing new blood into your game development. To me, if they play more games other than yours, they're going to bring that wealth of knowledge of what's good and bad in those games, whatever they are. And if you're working on that genre of game, they're going to be able to make your game better. If they only play your game, like I said, they only play your game one way. Okay, hire people are ready. Yes, hire people that are already doing what you're doing. We used to have, at Blizzard, what we called the /lunch program. And what the /lunch program is that once a month, everybody that was 20 years or more would go to lunch with three other people that HR would randomly choose. You would go to lunch with them and talk to them about Blizzard and talk to them about what they do, and it was from every level of the company. It was from the janitors on up. Any of them could apply to go to lunch with the old timers. And more often than not, I would be in a conversation with someone at one of these lunches, and I'll use design as an example, and they'd be going, I really want to be a designer. I keep applying. I go, okay, well, what have you designed? And they go, well, I haven't designed anything. They haven't given me the job yet. And me being me, I just go, and they never will. Look, if you want to be a designer, you should have a portfolio of the games you've played and how you would change them. You should have like some concepts of why the games that we have are good or bad. You should be always working on that. You should be you should be taking your hobby of saying, I want to know more about games, how game design works, all that stuff, and doing it as a hobby. Nobody is ever going to hire you for something you're not already doing. You know, I remember back when I was hired, Alan had said, probably about a year later, because I was playing Dungeon Master and I was mapping up the dungeons and stuff like that before I came to Silicon Synapse. And he goes, if you would have told me that at the time, I probably would have been able to hire you sooner. I'm like, oh, I didn't think of it. You know? I go, that's just my hobby. That's not me doing anything. But it isn't just your hobby. It is what you're doing. Oh, wow, I'm going the wrong way. You know, so hire people that have such a passion for it that they do it in their off time. You know, never hire someone that is just like, oh, I'm waiting for you to give me the job so I can do it. That's just not, and you'd be surprised how many people show up and try that. Don't talk about what to do. Do it. And this is why I hate PowerPoints, even though I'm using one here. I understand the irony, but I have a out is that I've done one PowerPoint in the last 20 years, and this is a modification of that one PowerPoint. So, but I have seen so many companies lose so many cycles of time that could be used making a game better to make PowerPoints for no apparent reason. You know, it's good to sit down and tell your boss what you're doing and explain what the team is doing and stuff like that. But if you're spending so much time making PowerPoints or putting together reports or all that kind of stuff that it is taking you away from doing your job, the company is losing money. Yeah. Why make a game design doc and not a PowerPoint? It depends on what company you're at. I prefer not to use PowerPoints. You know, I find a good tool for game design is Miro, because you can literally lay out your whole world in Miro and put all your notes in and stuff like that. But I'm just not a PowerPoint fan, because I've seen so many people literally put 50 slides of a wall of text up and just grind you into the ground with it. And it's just I'm just not a fan. Always give praise when earned. If someone on your team does something good, say so. If someone on your team does something bad, say so. But only within the team. What I always tell my teams is this, is if the owner of the company came up and said, that video you did was fantastic, I would say, you know what? Billy Ray did that video. He's a great person. The sound team worked on it here. I always say that. If he came up and said, that video was absolutely terrible, I said, you know what? I take full responsibility for that. You know, and I will help the team do better next time. Because the bottom line is, and I always tell my teams, if we succeed, it's your fault. If we fail, it's my fault. My job is to protect you against the bad press that comes from above or whatever. My job is to also help you learn and grow so that those things become less and less. You know, so that's what I always say about that. But I'm always there, and even on this, you know what? I screwed that up. Okay. Yep. And then that's usually the end of it, because I screwed it up, you know, so. Yeah. Okay. So this was something that in my last encounter is the building that they had, and this freaked me out. That building was the absolute cleanest game company building I have ever seen in my lifetime. And one of the things that we learned at Blizzard is you call stuff like that out. If your cleaning crew did a great job, you should say so, because those people are there supporting the environment which you do some of your best work in, you know, and you have to call them out. So in this particular case, I was calling out the cleaning crew who I had not met, because I'd only been there a couple months at this point. And I'm saying, look, this building is amazingly clean. I have never seen a building this clean, you know? And so I called the cleaning crew out, and I said flat out, a shout out to the cleaning crew, because we work in the cleanest building in the game industry. But it goes to a bigger thing and one of the things that we learned early in Blizzard, and if you look at the credits on all of our games, is there's credits in there for the cleaning people. There's credits in there for the guy that fills the vending machines. There's credits in there to family members. There's credits in there to pets. These are all the support systems for us to do what we do. And without those support systems, we wouldn't be able to do it. So of course you thank them. Of course you call them out. Of course you tell them they're doing a great job. When holidays come along, of course you get them like a box of candy or whatever. You get them something. So yes, always remember that you're not there alone. Your team is there. The infrastructure that holds your team up is there. The building that you work in is there. Remember that, and don't ever, if I'm in a company and I see someone treat a cleaning person or a support person of any kind, unwell, I'll call it out right there. I go, what the hell are you doing? Because there's no reason for that. Without them, you would not be able to live in the environment you live in. Sorry, I get a little bit emotional about that one. And I want to kill everybody in the room way. Also, remember, this is code. This is the translation people. These are all support teams that are out there that are doing stuff, and then this is music. All of this stuff is needed to make a good, solid game. All of them need skill sets. All of them need skilled people in them. I've been very lucky in that I've worked with some of the best coders. Mr. Barnes is a translation lead, is fantastic. He's amazing. Sound teams with Russell Brower and Jason Hazen and all of them are just fantastic. I'm sorry, I had a name in my head and it slipped out. Sorry, but what does the binary code say, Mr.? I don't remember. I know it says something because I thought it was funny at the time, but it was 4 years ago, so I don't remember. So I may have to take it in and copy it into a. Let's see if I can do that right now. In fact, because I remember I'm pretty sure that I said I put something in there because I thought it was funny. And it's something like Billy's a good coder or something. Let's see if we can get a binary to text translator. Okay, let's do a copy here. Can I copy it? Oh, I can't copy it. Damn it. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't copy it. I will, after this, I'll go to the original deck and pull it out of there and try to remember what it says. I probably had it. Oh, maybe it is that. It could be that all of your base are belong to us. If you know what that is from way back in the day, it was probably one of the worst translations ever made. It could be that. I'll have to look, but it may be what that was. But I just remember laughing over that. All of your base are belong to us way back in the beginning. So yeah, more than likely that's what it says. Okay, what makes it work? Work smart, not hard. The problem with game development is there are a finite number of problems or obstacles in game development. We make them infinite. We as people will make some of the simplest things as difficult as humanly possible, and I've never understood why, but it happens all the time. But when you're making games, there is literally a finite number of problems. Keep to those finite problems and solve them. Don't add more problems in just to make it look harder. It's so just difficult for everybody. Work with a single focus. Every person on your team, whether it's the sound department, the programmers, the artists, everybody, the designers, everybody should be following the same North Stars. There's so many companies that I've seen that they give the developers one North Star to follow. They give the sound guys another a Far East or a Southern Cross to follow. Everybody gets a different set of marching instructions, and they're never marching together. So it causes more and more problems because they've been told on the same subject, each team has been told a different thing. And that is just death to development, absolute death, because all communication breaks down, all trust breaks down. And if you keep doing that, then your game is going to sit in limbo forever and never get done. So always make sure that every single person, not just the teams, but every single person on your teams are following the same North Star or Southern Cross, but not both. Everybody has to be following the same guiding light. Oh, wow. Okay. Sorry. I touched the wheel. Be passionate. Players will feel your passion. Be passionate about what you do. If you go in there and go, okay, I'm just going to make a game today, we'll work on it. They're going to feel that. I don't know why. There's a visceral thing about games where you can feel what the people were saying or thinking while they were making the game. Not saying, but what they were feeling while they were making that game. You can feel whether they were happy about it or not. What I've always tell my teams is I want you to wake up in the morning and say, I get to go to work today. I never want you to wake up in the morning and say, I have to go to work, because that's the worst position to be in. Let's see. Trust each other. Oh, I forgot to change that. In this particular case, this should say, we are yearlings, so trust each other. Apparently, I didn't change that from one of the times I've used this. But we are yearlings. And as yearlings, we have to trust each other and support each other. So have each other's back. Always. We succeed together, we fail alone. That's the bottom line there, is we are here for each other. We should always be here for each other. We are yearlings. In fact, you'll see that coming up. Always put the game first. If you don't believe, why should players? If you do not believe in the game you're working on, why should others? So, and then be loyal to our players. We live in the worlds we create. They live in our worlds. The worlds we create, the worlds we do, they live in. Let's see. I think that slide actually was supposed to not be in there. I think I put where? Oh, then, of course, we are the music makers. We are the dreamer of dreams. For those of you that know, you know. That is probably one of the best lines Gene Wilder ever delivered in movies. Other than, morons. So, yeah. Let's see. Let's go. I'm trying to beat the 3-minute mark here. We are yearlings. See, I did get it in there. We are yearlings. We are a group. We are a family here now. Father's still trying to navigate everything, but we're going to get there. We are yearlings. We will always be yearlings. And now it's just a matter of questions. We got through it with 3 minutes and 28 seconds to go before the next ad. So I hope I didn't bore you too badly. Let's on the next. Then just we are yearlings. So I missed it on the one spot, and I apologize, but we are yearlings. I was going to, like I said, I was going to do this yesterday, but the poll wasn't finished yet because I forgot to stop it on Sunday night. But here we go. What do you do for work, Yearjoy? Right now, I'm retired again. I do some consulting here and there and stuff like that, but a day-to-day job, I don't have a day-to-day job, and I'm actually having fun doing this right now. I've been doing this for about 2 weeks and 2 days. So this is my 12th show. Unfortunately, we lost the first one because of technical issues, and I messed it up, but hopefully going forward, we can do more things. It looks like we might be able to get to some... No, I don't think we're going to get to any rock and roll racing today because of ads and stuff, but I'd rather answer your questions. For those of you that are new here, is if you put Yearjoy before your question to highlight it so I can find it better, because I am working here alone. I have a question about knowing when to shelf a project. Is it a feeling or are there telltale signs? The bottom line is, if there's several things that you can do. Number one, if no one on your team is playing it on their off hours, that's a good sign that you should probably move on to something else. Another thing is just pull your team together and say, is this working? Is this working for you? Is this working for do you think players are going to actually like this or not? And make the decision, You're the boss. It's your job to find out if the donut is not coming together or not. And if it's not coming together, it's always better to scrap it for something that is a better donut than to make a better donut. You did a good job. I've been your stream a few times. Oh, cool. I'm glad. It's people are finding joy in it. I think your joy is good for Twitch. Maybe not. We'll see. For all I know, they're going to come and say, "Okay, you're banned. Get out." But we'll see. I'm going to always be very frank with you guys. I'm always going to tell you what my perception is on stuff and what my beliefs are on things. I'm not going to pretend something doesn't exist or ignore it. And as you can probably tell from the kid on the other show, I raised him that way. It's my fault, so he is a very big justice warrior. How do you feel okay. How did it feel? The worst thing about going to the bigger teams was communication broke down so fast. When we were small teams, when we were 24 people and under, you could always pull everybody together and have a meeting and fix things immediately, or try new things and not have someone completely lose it. Because you were always on the same page. You were always communicating. When you get to the bigger teams, communication, you have to build a really solid communication pipeline. And a lot of teams don't do that. Or you have managers that say things like, "Oh, I was told this, but I'm going to interpret it as this over here." And that's what the team gets, and it kind of screws things up. So always work on the communication pipelines first as your team is growing, so that they're already in place and used to it before you get too big. Had a private server on, well, yeah, we had a private server that we used. Oh no, actually, for South Park we had a live server, and there were several times where people like walk through a shot or stuff like that. It was very funny, because I remember Trey and them saying, "Can't we just like stop them from doing that?" They go, "No, they're our players. We're going to protect our players." And he even mentions it inside the behind the scenes conversation that he has about it. Is that he goes, I asked them if they could just ban everybody from our area, and they go, "What are you talking about? Those are our players. You're not going to do that to our players." So if you can listen to the behind the scenes conversation with Matt and Trey about the what are the ads, Make Love Not Warcraft, then find it and watch it. It's pretty funny. Mm-hmm. So I'm letting my voice rest just for a minute, because we are in ads for another minute and a half. Let me put the ad monkey up. Yep. Had turned the mic off there for a second. I hacked up a ball of snot and I had to name it and send it on its way. His name shall be George. I will love him and pet him and pet him. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. 43 seconds. Go back to the questions up here. Where was I? Okay, South Park. I'm gonna have to start doing voice exercises for this to kind of build my voice up to where it can tolerate the 2.5 hours we're doing every day. Did I turn the mic back on? Oh, I did. Okay. Oops. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, we're back. Okay, so the question was about the South Park stuff. No, we did it all on live servers. There were a couple times when we had to move people, but we did it using spells in the game, not any super QA code or anything like that. But we worked around it. We worked around the people actually playing. So a lot of the players in the background of everything, every player in there was a real player, except for the 4 boys that we were playing. Okay. I want to enter the industry. I have graduated a little experience. I just apply QA jobs if you have first off, any game that you're going to apply for QA for, you should play before you go apply for QA. And look around it, get a feel for it, learn as much about that game as possible. The odds are they will hire you over someone that just walked in and says, I want to be a QA, because there are people like that. They're just like I was doing things, but it's, know the game that you want to QA for and learn about it, and then build yourself some creds for it. Will you do game jams? I don't know. I'm still kind of figuring out what the format of everything's going to be. And we'll see how that turns out. It's taken us 2 weeks. We only just got a name for you guys. So I'm not quick on the draw with stuff. And as we grow here and we see how, if I'm able to find moderators and be able to pay them, then I will be pretty happy about it. So until we get to that point, I don't know if we're going to be able to do game jams or things like that. Because right now I'm doing this on the fly by myself, and it's a little tricky sometimes, but I try to keep caught up. Watching you and Thor at the same time, because both of you have a hand in who I am. Oh, well, I have a feeling I should pull my hand out. You shaped part of my childhood, and Thor helped shape who I am. Oh, okay. But what do you say? Watching you both says what about me? I don't know. I'm hoping that with Thor, it gets very, very deep into the mechanics and the whys, and he's a very huge justice warrior and stuff like that. I'm more of a layback creative guy. So maybe there's just 2 sides of your personality that you're trying to feed, and that's okay. Did someone ever ask for more ducks? I think Alan Pavlich did once as a joke, but yes, the duck thing did become a thing when we were doing interplay games and stuff like that. But we really enjoyed it. I forget who came up with the idea. I think it might have been Sam Wise came up with the idea for the duck. But because originally it was done as a joke, and then we just used it as stuff. Dragon is going wild in 8 days. I don't know what that's about. Leagues is coming up. Have you done anything on previous? No. I did. I was head of the creative services department at Jagex for 4 years. I left about 1.5 years ago. I don't know what they're working on now, but we did do a lot of stuff for leagues beforehand. But I do not know what's going on there now. I 100% trust that both Mr. Parrish and Nikki have it in hand and are doing a fantastic job, because they were really, really good people, and we're doing really, really good work as art director and lead producer for creative services in Jagex. I really am happy that I was able to get them into the right spots for them to continue to grow and go higher. Yes, that was a Bugs Bunny reference. I will love him and pet him and call him George. Mm-hmm. You're doing well. Oh, well, thank you. No, thanks. Can we get yearling emotes that's half year? I will see. Like I said, I have to. I actually, on one of my other screens here, I have a thing that lists all of the badges and stuff like that for Twitch that I will go in and start creating badges for, but it's going to take me a little while. 400 plus viewers after 3. Okay. I don't know if that's good or bad. I just come on and do my thing. What would you say to someone who plateaued for over a decade. Get out and do more things. That's what I would say is if you're plateauing or if you're getting in a situation where you're not growing, it's because you're not giving yourself enough fuel to go to the next level. And I talked about this with the presentation is your brain needs to be fed constantly. It needs to be fed more things. That's why like I said, I collect movies, I collect TV shows, I collect all kinds of things, but I always go out in places and walk around. Like I went to the National History Museum when I was in London. I went to all the museums in London and in Cambridge and all that stuff. I always went out and went to different places. If you're plateauing and it's been for a decade, you're not doing enough, and I'm not talking about work. I'm talking about getting out and doing things and getting new experiences so that you can fill your tank with fuel to be used for your creative endeavors and stuff like that. Yeah, a couple movies. If you go on to our Discord, I put a new movie up every day as part of the thing. Since you just asked, today's movie was Moon by Mr. Hayes. Oh, sorry. Wow, my brain went blank on that. Yeah, so this movie is today's movie. We put one up every single day. If you go to the Discord and you look under movies of the day, you will see the movies that I've put up for the last 2 weeks. All of them are movies that I would suggest you watch. Yeah, I should probably commission an artist, but I want to be able to pay them too. I don't want to just have them. I don't want anybody to work for free. I would rather do it myself than work for free. Have someone work for free. I'm assuming Geek Real that you're asking this as a joke because we do put up a movie every single day. Mm-hmm. Yay, yearling badges. Yeah, now that we have a theme, I can start thinking about what I would do for those badges and stuff. What absolutely phenomenal compared to the average. The only Twitch stream I've ever watched, and it's in very short chunks, is Thor's stream. I don't watch a lot of Twitch streams. I used to watch artists, a girl artist that we were going to hire when I was at Collide Entertainment. There was a girl that applied to do artwork for our game, but we didn't. We weren't able to get the funding to do the game, so it kind of all fell apart. But I followed her for a while, and she streamed until a couple months ago, and now she's like in nursing school or something. So great for her, But other than that, I don't watch a lot of streams, and I think that's actually kind of good for me because I can come in here and just be myself and do my own thing without feeling pressured to do stuff that are over hypey or whatever. Because my understanding of most streams is it's just like buy my stuff, buy my stuff, But I could be wrong. And about your choice section, there is a link. Yeah, I can probably throw the link up here. Let me go over here. Let's go here. Invite people, copy link, just in case the link isn't working. Because sometimes for some reason it expires, whether I'm missing something. But here's the link to the Discord. And if you go on there, we have the shirt of the day. We have general discussion. We take polls. We do all those kind of things. As we go on, it's going to evolve, and I'm going to be adding stuff and taking away stuff that is working or not working. So yeah. Okay. Where does the Discord link is? I just posted it. If you look below your question about the movies, it's there. But yeah, we put up a movie every day. I have about 80 movies right now in line to be put up. So for the next 80 weekdays, we'll be putting those up. There is a somewhat newer movie from 2022 called Moonfall that I recommend. Have you seen it? No, I have not. I gotta go. See you tomorrow. Okay. Bye, Achilles. See you soon. Section link. Let me see if there's anything on Discord I missed. Sushi. No. Let's see. General chat. Okay, that is down. Yeah, we covered all that stuff. Questions. Okay. I know it's all over, is it? I can't but laugh at the idea of calling the community year old. Did we do that? No, I thought it was yearlings. Um, that's a year from now. Oh, okay. Okay. Does this mean we won't get yearling snake oil in the future? I don't know. Not sure what your reference is. Hmm. I remember hearing that you worked on cinematics in video games. Yes, I did. Have you ever worked with the movie industry itself? I helped with a couple things. My aunt was worked at 20th Century Fox for about 24 years, 26 years. Oh wait, sorry, 28 years. You know, and I met her later in my life and used to go to the studio and have lunch with her and stuff like that. And I told the story of meeting Mel Brooks at one of those lunches and stuff. I've always been fascinated with movie making. In fact, in the in the reading list section of the Discord, I recommend a book called Shot by Shot, um, in regards to filmmaking and stuff like that, because I'm always fascinated with that, and I've actually worked not worked, but went and helped out with star wrangling, for lack of a better way to put it, on Dwayne Stennett's movie Curio Trunk, with some really good people in it. Yeah. But direct movies, I did not work on the Warcraft movie, although I would, and I've said this before, I would like to go back and edit it to what I would feel a Warcraft movie should be. Felt like I think all the parts are there. I just think that to make it truly Warcraft, a little reordering would actually improve that, and using a lot more of the original music from the game. But Film Directing Shot by Shot is the book that I put up. It's by Stephen Katz. If you look at the Discord under reading list, you'll find it in there. It's the blue one. But yeah, I've always been around the movie industry and stuff like that. And I worked in television for 2 years before going to Silicon and Synapse, and worked on a few things here and there. Did the first American Teacher Awards for Disney. Did Pair of Jokers, parts of the animation, the opening sequence for Pair of Jokers and Comic Club Network way back then, and worked on those stuff. But worked on it as a team with the Slade team up in Beverly Hills. Really, really talented people. Yeah. Is that one asked twice? No. Oh, okay. Oh, it's the way this thing's moving. That's crazy dad lore. Yeah, I guess so. What comedy affected your motor function the most? AKA, had to breathe because you laughed so hard. Huh. I would go back to the early days. I think that a lot of the early Jerry Lewis stuff was the stuff that always made me laugh as a kid and make me laugh hard. So there was a lot of those kind of things. But my overall, I think that most of the stand-up stuff was good. Like if you could find Eddie Izzard's Dressed to Kill, probably one of the best comedies ever, as far as stand-up. I would also throw in a lot of Christopher Titus stuff, because Christopher Titus, he comes from the same kind of background I did, which was not a very happy home background, and was really good. Anything by George Carlin, because George Carlin was just absolutely amazing. Yeah, Three Stooges, loves Three Stooges, loves the Marx Brothers, love all that stuff. Slowly I Turn, all that kind of stuff, and Niagara Falls. Those all those old comedies are just amazing. And Dress to Kill is probably one of the best sets ever written. I will give Eddie that 100% every single time. And Christopher Titus, I used to, when I was in Irvine, when I was still at Blizzard, I used to, when he came to the Irvine Improv, I used to buy 30 tickets and take a bunch of people from Blizzard to go see him because he was just absolutely brilliant, you know. And I still watch his podcast now and then because it comes out, I think, once a week or something like that, but I don't get a chance to watch it every week. What music do you enjoy? I enjoy everything. You know, when it comes to music, I will listen to anything from literally long ago classics to all the way up to whatever's playing today to Billie Eilish. You know, I'll listen to all of it. You know, I've met a few amazing rock stars in my time, and I've been very, very lucky. You know, because we made great games, and it made a whole lot of other things possible. Let me see if I can take this down and just put back on me. Um, can you help me with advice how to release anger so I wouldn't hurt unintentional loved ones? Yeah, you know, you have to control those Dexter moments, for lack of a better way to put it. You know, and there's a lot of different things you can do there. Is one of them is as simple as, you know what, I'm gonna walk away for a minute, and I'm gonna go calm down, and then I'll come back and we'll finish this conversation. Walking around the block is another one. You know, getting yourself out of the situation is the most important thing, because I've been in situations where I've punched walls and that's been used against me. Never hit a significant other or anything like that, but was accused of it because I hit a wall once, you know. But you need to walk away from the situation until you calm the hell down. Um, staying in there is staying there in the moment when everything's heated is the wrong thing to do. And you also, when you're calm, in a calm moment, talk to your loved one or significant other and say, look, here's what here's, if we get to a point to where I can't deal with this anymore, that I have, or I'm going to go for a walk. And you have to accept that and help them understand that that's what you need. And then you will return to finish the conversation in a much clearer head. Yeah, it's funny because George Carlin's take on America today is he did all of that stuff 10 years ago and before. So he's amazing. He was so pulse on society kind of comic. Just love him. I did not win. Anytime someone's asking who won, you or the wall. Anytime you hit anything or anyone, you lose. You're automatically the loser, just flat out. It will be something that you will regret the rest of your life. Yeah, in my opinion. Um, when I was 14, 15, I punched a wall out of anger. To my surprise, a stud. Yes, in your anger, you cannot measure 16 inches properly before you hit the wall. So there, the possibility of hitting a stud is always there. Unless it's, oh yeah, defend yourself doesn't mean you have to hurt or kill them. You know, defend someone else. Yes, if someone's in trouble, help them. You know, but it doesn't have to escalate to the worst possible outcome. Yeah, a punching bag works. Also, a speed bag would work. Also, going and taking, um, yeah, going and taking boxing lessons or going and taking some kind of physical activity that you can get a lot of those frustrations out on can be very, very helpful as well. That's because our senses are algorithmic. Yeah, kind of Yeah, what he said. Yeah, when I was little, because I was blind, I got to ride the little yellow bus, and I had the helmet, so I could bang my head against the side of the bus while we were sitting there. Okay, good correction, Vox. Heavy metal music when I'm angry. Yeah, that can help. But I listen to everything. If I'm Neil Young, you name it, I listen to it. It's always there. And the reason why is because I remember listening to a interview with Paul McCartney years and years and years ago. And someone was asking him why the Beatles' music and his music could do things like go from electric guitars to violins and all that other stuff. And what he said always fascinated me. And what he said was he was raised obviously in London, in that area in the UK. And they had Radio 1, I think it's called. And he said on Radio 1, you could hear Elvis Presley. And then the very next song would be Mozart. And then the next song would be Motown. And then the next song, you didn't just listen to one type of music, you listened to all of them. So when they started writing music, it was perfectly natural for them to pull from all of that to make the music that they wanted to make. And I always thought that was fascinating, which also led to me coming up with the fill your brain with all kinds of stuff so that you always have ammo. So for him, it was always about, they grew up listening to everything. So it was just natural to be able to use everything when they were making their music. I do not play Minecraft. Thor's brother does play Minecraft, or did. And my girlfriend's daughter plays Minecraft, but I have never played Minecraft. I mean, it's cool. I've watched her play where she builds her houses and does all that stuff, and then and then tears them down and does it all over again, which I just absolutely find hilarious. Did Odin step out? I just came back to the stream. Am I not here? Am I not up? I think I'm still alive. No, it says I'm still up there. Sorry if it's saying I'm not there. Okay. I am live, sir. Okay, we are over time. You're fine. Is there anything else you guys, wait, how did you get the qualifications to move from plumber to game dev at that time? I fell down a staircase, in all honesty. Someone says, how did you get the qualifications to move from plumber to game dev at that time? And like I said, in the presentation we just did, I fell down a staircase and really with helping a guy move a refrigerator, and really screwed up my back, and was put on disability. And California at the time, when you went on disability, would give you a bunch of tests. So they gave me a bunch of tests, and they said computers and art is what you should be working on. And they sent me, they paid for my college. I went to college. I learned computers and art, and I learned 3D and all that other stuff. Went into television for about a year and a half. And then my wife wanted me to find work closer to the house, because I was about a few hours away going from Orange County up to LA because the traffic was just so bad. And I went and applied to Mike and Alan for doing the cars for Rock and Roll Racing. And that was a 5-week contract that I ended up doing 23 and a half years for. So it was a lot of fun. Time to find staircase. Don't find yourself a staircase. Yeah. No, it was pretty painful. So, but the final outcome is, the thing is there are times when we will be at our lowest lows, but it's really just us preparing for our highest highs. That's the way I've always looked at it, is because that was my lowest low. I had a baby son, Thor, and his mom. And there were times I could not get up out of bed or move, and that was not fun, but by the same token, I drug my ass out of bed and, got to school and learned all the things they wanted me to learn, and hopefully made a better life for everybody. As far as, I really haven't looked heavily into Dreamhaven, but I know the people there, and a lot of the old school people that I grew up with at Blizzard are there, including Mike Morheim, who's an absolute amazing human being, and I would if anybody gets a chance to work for him, I would say do it. Go. You will learn a lot. He's a very decent human being, you know. But Chris Siggety, a lot of them are over there and making cool stuff. I know that they announced a little short time ago their new game is almost ready for showing, or is ready for showing. I haven't had a chance to look at it, but Dreamhaven's good. In all honesty, I think the stuff that Thor is doing with Heartbound is really good, and the fact that he's been able to keep everybody in there. It's easy when you are ready to end the thing. Just type raid. Really? That's all I have to do, and then it'll send all of you guys over to Thor. And do I type that in the chat, or do I type that somewhere else in this window? I got hit with a semi truck while I was working as a road ranger. Unemployment benefits these days are so bad. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. Baby Thor. I did show a picture of Baby Thor. I don't think I have it in the system anymore, but I did show one the other day in chat. Okay, we'll try it. I mean, when I say goodbye here, I will try to send you to raid Thor, because it looks like he sent a bunch of people to raid me today, and I was not prepared for that, and I did not know it was coming. So, raid player software with no space. Okay, with no space between the and raid. Okay. All right, then we will. Okay, we're gonna have to do this quick because we're gonna go into ads if I don't. Let's get our numbers up here. I'm gonna beat this thing. I have 1 minute. This will be set to the 20th. 20th. Say start. Let's go to our timer screen, first room. I will see you guys in 21 hours, 23 minutes, and 50 seconds. I am now typing raid Thor into this and hitting the button. Love you guys. See you later, yearlings. I hope you enjoyed the show today. Bye.